Hi friends. This is weird because I've actually just been talking for the last I think hour and a bit. I'm starting to do more Patreon exclusive content, one of which is going to be a new series on my Patreon called Base Checks, where I prep my base for the video. Essentially, I'm just going to be doing life updates or check-ins while I apply my base for the YouTube video. So that is what I just did. I'm all talked out, but that's okay because now I can just really focus on what's in front of me for this new video. I hope you guys enjoyed the latest video. If you haven't seen it yet, I will link it up here. We tried on some Glam Goth Cosmetics, which is a Black-owned, vegan, cruelty-free brand that is super, super cool. So in continuing with the theme of Black-owned brands, I have for you today a try-on of the Makeup Addiction Cosmetics Meadow Palette. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it just because I cannot decide between all these beautiful colors. So we're just going to wing it and hope something good comes out of it. I also have some new lipstick from Black Moon Cosmetics to try, but this will be the focal point. And I think that's it. I think that is everything you need to know. So if that sounds like fun to you, then please keep on watching and let's get started. So Makeup Addiction Cosmetics is a beautiful Black-owned beauty brand, and I really identify with the CEO's story. Her love of makeup came from a very low point in her life. She was actually diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I can definitely relate to finding makeup in a time of inner turmoil. That's kind of where my love of makeup took flight, was during a very deep depression. Her whole motto was always to create high-quality products without the expensive price tag for makeup lovers who are looking to experiment with makeup, and I just think that's a really incredible MO. Offering a high quality product to the creative, to the curious, without that huge investment is, I think, actually really important to people's creative journey when it comes to makeup. That's why people love ColourPop so much. So I picked up the Meadow Palette, which is about $60 Canadian. It has got 8 pans, but the pans are quite large. They're about a sugar pill size, I think, and that's about twice the size of a regular eyeshadow palette pan. So you get a lot of product for your money. There are quite a lot of palettes on their website, but this is the one that really spoke to me via color scheme. It doesn't state that this palette is vegan, but it does state that it is cruelty-free. So I remember, I think Raw Beauty Christie reviewed this a long time ago. It's not a new palette, but it is the one that I wanted to try. I also picked up a new blush palette from the drugstore. This is the Catrice X Eman blush palette, and I've been dying to just jump right into these really rich, highly pigmented blush shades. So let's just zoom in and do some swatches and then get right into the eyeshadow. Eyebrows are thick today. I love how they leave these little spaces here that you can easily just pry them out and put them in a magnetic palette. If you were a professional makeup artist and you had a kit and you just wanted to take the 1 or 2 shades that you used most often so you didn't have to bring the whole palette with you, it's really cute that they actually just made that really easy for you to do. The shades themselves do look a bit discombobulated, but they just look so appealing together that I just wanted to see what I could do with it. This is Sandstone, Sweet Peach, Dusk, Slate Green, Bronze Leaf, Pink Blossom, Poison Ivy, and Crushed Blueberry. I really want to see what this looks like because it just looks like the perfect all over highlight. I think I might actually use this as a highlight on my face. Let's give this a swatch. It feels creamy as hell. That did not feel like a powder. It's not as bright actually as I thought it was, but it is quite beautiful. This is Sweet Peach, which is obviously calling my name. It looks like the most stunning transition shade. Let's give that one a swatch as well. Very subdued. Let me see if I can build that up a little bit. Even the mattes feel creamy, not at all powdery, just kind of glides on like nothing. This is Dusk. That's really pretty. That's gonna look really great in a crease. And then let's do Slate Green. That is insane. Oh, and it's got this gold shift up close. I'll do these all at once actually. Let's do Bronzed Leaf, Pink Blossom, Poison Ivy. It would be crazy to put all these in a look together, but how beautiful do they look together? What? That's absolutely ridiculous. Oh my god. Bitch, look at that shit. No, this is criminal. This is a criminal crime. All right, and last one is Crushed Blueberry. Oh, it is deep. Pretty smooth in texture. This makes me really excited to start, and also just more confused because I have no idea where to begin. I've got like a cold cup of coffee and a lukewarm smoothie on standby, both disgusting in their own way. Let me just throw on a little bit of lip balm just so you don't have to stare at my crusty lips for this whole video. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying. Been listening to a lot of Fleetwood Mac lately. All right, let's get a shove on, shall we? Start with a little primer. Aw, the mirror on the inside says, addicted to your beauty within. All right, let's take a nice big fluffy brush and dive right into Sweet Peach. And we're just gonna buff that right in. Ooh, very smooth, very easy to blend. I kind of want this as a wash of like peachy warmth, just kind of all over the lid, way up into the brow bone, just to give us something to play with. You know, you can't really go wrong starting with a peachy nude. Ooh, it just glides on. Yeah, I want a very soft look today. Last week was very glam. This palette just screams woodland creature to me, so I'm kind of trying to give off that kind of vibe today, you know? Just a summery woodland fairy. Nice and blown out. Taking it all the way into the nose as well, almost contouring with it a little bit. You could just do a look just entirely with this one shade. Ooh, this palette's really throwing off the white balance, so I might have to actually switch to a different mirror. I could just like spend all day blending this one eyeshadow and be perfectly happy. I just love those shades that you don't have to be too fussy with. You can just kind of blah, 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 and it looks stunning no matter what. All right, now let's dip into dusk a little bit. You know, I definitely thought these two were going to give off a more warm toned, like rusty color as opposed to neutral, but it is actually kind of coming off quite neutral, which is great because that gives us a nice base for whatever metallic we want to go with. It kind of goes with everything. Oof, and they just blend together like nothing. I can see this becoming one of my go-tos for a quick neutral look. I do kind of wish, however, that there was one more darker brown shade just to add another layer of depth. I'm too afraid to use that blue. Just taking the previous brush that had Sweet Peach on it and just running it along the edges just to make sure that the blend is nice and even. Ooh, yeah. Trying to build more in that crease just to create a bit more depth. See if I can really pack it in. I'm trying to really create that lift in the socket here. I'm going to take a smaller brush, just something a bit more precise with that rust shade, and just really press it into the innermost part. All right, I think that's pretty good and blended. For the metallics, I want to start with a brush first, just to see what happens. I'm going to dip into Poison Ivy first, but these kind of soft, buttery metallics usually work really well with a little brush. And I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. And I'm trying to focus that on the center. Oofa doofa. Tucking that right up into the crease, just right up there. Now, I wasn't going to use the dark green, but I think I'm actually going to use it as the outer third of the lid. So let's just take slate green and do that. And because this slate green has that brighter green shift, it kind of carries over perfectly into Poison Ivy. Let's go back into Poison Ivy just to reinforce that a little bit more. Yeah, you kind of can't even tell where one shade ends and the other begins because they blend really beautifully together. Wow, it's almost untraceable actually. Just dragging that further out into the corner there. So for the inner third of the lid, I know it's a little bit unorthodox, but I wanted to try Pink Blossom. I just think pink and green are so beautiful together. That used to be the colors of my life journal back in the day. Clock my age. It's a lot frostier than I imagined. Oh, now I know not so sure. This pink is coming off way cooler in tone on the eyelid than in the pan. Something is not quite jiving with the green. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Just trying to give it a bit more of a blend on top here into rust. Yeah, they didn't blend the way I thought they would. In the pan, they look so nice next to each other, but on the eye, it's just kind of looking a little bit muddy. So I might just kind of dip back into Poison Ivy with my finger and just really get right on top of it. Oh, that's too bad. I was really looking forward to playing with that a little bit more. And that's fine. Like, that's a pretty eyeshadow look. It's just not really what I envisioned, but that's okay. Just trying to add a little bit more rust around the edges. But let's brighten up that inner corner with Sandstone. Okay, so with that little bit of pink kind of peeking through this champagne shade, that's kind of something interesting. Let's drag that up to the lid as well. That is a beautiful champagne shade though. Let's put it on the brow bone as well while we're here. Now let's start working on the lower lash line. Let's start with Rust. I really want to blow this out quite a lot because I think I'm going to blend it into the blush. Do that kind of situation. And then just take a little bit of Sweet Peach and buff that out. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this whole blown out thing on the edges. Makes it a bit more interesting than just, you know, your average smoky eye. And then whatever blush situation should blend right into that. All right, I'm gonna take Versatile Chestnut and just run that in the waterline. Do I want a wing or no? Probably not, right? I feel like it would look too weird. Too much stuff going on. All right, I'm gonna do all of this on the other side and then we will come back and try and tie everything together. All right, other eye is done, lashes are on. These are Lunar Angel lashes in the style Starlight, part of their Foam Ink collection. I do have a chance to apply for their affiliate program, so if I do end up getting accepted, I will leave the discount code down below. So I think we can move on to a little bit of blush, definitely going into the vein of blush draping, and I still think that the Catrice x Eman palette will go really well with this look. I'm gearing more towards this taupey blush shade down here. It's called Cairo. It's slightly deeper than Sweet Peach, so I think it's going to act as a really nice blush to transition into. All right, let's take a little brush and dip into Cairo here, and I think I'm going to start at the back here, just kind of blending it into the eyeshadow. It's almost bronzer, like you can almost use this as bronzer, but it does still have kind of a more pink undertone than straight up bronzer. And I'm focusing that at the back of the cheek as opposed to the apple, and she is pigmented, I will give it that. It's quite a pretty shade, and it's blending really nicely with the eyeshadow. Yeah, if you're going for like a neutral bronzy look, this would be a great blush. Hit that chin. And let's go on the nose with this one as well. I think that would look absolutely stunning on like a no eyeshadow day with like a huge lash and a really taupey lipstick. And I don't think I want to add any additional blush. I know. Who is she? But I do want to put a little bit of highlight just on like the apple of the cheek. For the highlight, I'm actually going to go back into the Meadow Palette and take Sandstone. I really like the way it looks on the brow bone. I think it's going to be a perfect highlight. So I'm going to be quite sparing with it and just hit the apple of the cheek. So pretty. It's actually quite subtle. Yeah, it's almost like a candlelit glow. Like, it's not that beamy. Like, you really kind of have to build it up, but once you do. All right, let's pop on just a couple quick freckles. All right, let's throw on just a touch of lip liner. I'm just gonna use the same Versatile Chestnut that I used in the waterline. Just make sure that before putting it back in your eye, you sharpen it. And then let's figure out a lip. I think it was between these two from Black Moon, Harvest and Dusk. Maybe I should like blend the two. Like what would happen? You know, that's not a bad idea actually. All right, change of plans. So let's start with Harvest. And then I'm just gonna blot that, which is totally pretty on its own. But I do want to see if I can just make it a little bit less warm by adding a bit of Dusk. Just reinforce that liner a little bit, especially at the top there. Just to finish the combo, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of Bite Beauty French Press Lip Gloss in the shade Flat White, just to add a little bit of shine. I feel like the blush kind of faded since we applied it. Is that just me, or... All right, I'm gonna call that done. All right, let's spray her down. Add a little bit of bottom mascara to finish everything off. All right, friends, this is the look all complete. You know, it's not my favorite look. However, I did really enjoy playing with the Meadow Palette. I just think this color scheme is really interesting, and the metallics are a lot richer and deeper in tone than what I originally anticipated from looking at the shadows in the pan. I just thought that this would definitely have more of a brighter sheen to it, although as you can tell, it is quite dark and rich. I'm not mad at it. I love this tone of eyeshadow. I'm a huge fan of this green. I do wish that the pink was a little less on the frosty side, and I wish it was more on the more pink side. However, I'm determined to make it work. I want to try and utilize the other shades in the palette. So if you want to see that in an upcoming video, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to do that for you. You know, in the end, I actually really like this combination. It turned out actually a lot more subdued than I thought it was going to. And I think that's it, guys. I'm going to call it a day and go edit the other video that should have been up a couple days ago. Life's been a little crazy, folks. Trust me, I dislike being absent just as much as you do. Just so you're aware, I am trying my best to be as present as humanly possible. So I hope you guys can understand that. I think that is it for me. Let me rattle off the spiel to you. Here are the many ways that you can help out my channel. You can give this video a huge thumbs up. You can comment down below what you thought of everything. You can subscribe. You can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there. And if you were curious about the new series I'm starting on my Patreon called Base Chats, go check out the link in the description box down below. And hey, isn't it crazy how Breonna Taylor's murderers are still walking free? That's kind of interesting, huh? Let's get those cops in prison. Let's keep Breonna Taylor's name trending. Justice for Breonna Taylor. Let's arrest those cops that murdered her. That would be great. All right, that is it from me. Stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, wear a damn mask. Just do your best, guys, all right? And above all else, just be kind and be generous, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.